Quant Hound here. This is my trading journal for October 15th. Let's start with my positions. Silver. I'm big on silver. The reason for that is I think there's a lot of fear in the market right now. The dollar value's going down. Let me hold that up real quick. With the dollar value going down, let's open up DXY in TradingView. We can expect that the things that hold their value independent of the US dollar value is going to go up. That's likely why Bitcoin has been spiking, but also likely why gold has been spiking. And this has been part of Trump's strategy from the beginning. Um, as the as the Trump dollar value decreases, U.S. dollar value decreases, then things like gold and silver should go up. Why am I holding silver? Well, I have this indicator, shows me real relative strength compared to other indices. I have gold as the comparator index when I'm looking at silver. And you can see that silver has generally underperformed since Trump took office. Well, there's been cases where it overperformed, but the value of gold is increasing faster than the value of silver, and I think silver has some catching up to do. So if you're in a metal and you want to choose between gold and silver, I choose silver because I think it's got some catching up to do. So that's why silver. I also have SIL J. Now, what's interesting about SIL J? This is silver junior miners. Well, I think silver is going to go up. I think silver is going to go up slightly fast in the next couple months over gold. But I know interest rates are going to be cut, and that's really good for the smaller companies who want a loan, who want to get a loan from the bank. And I know Trump is very passionate about that. He recently got a Trump loyalist into the FOMC Fed board, and that particular loyalist is pushing for faster rate cuts. And so that's why I'm going for the junior route. I think this will outperform silver, uh, the larger silver miners, because of the fact that we're expecting interest rate cuts. And I think we're going to expect them the next week. Tech. I'm big on tech right now because there's lots of tech earnings. I do have a technical analysis on some of these as well. You look at Amazon, it's in a downtrend, but if you look at this indicator on the 4 hour, you can see signs of accumulation. A spike upwards here is either accumulation or distribution. Well, I think there's accumulation. And so I'm holding some calls, expecting it to break out of this downtrend. I have a few trend lines that obviously I need to delete, but I do expect it to break out of the downtrend very soon, um, especially because it has earnings coming up. Look at that, October 23rd. Microsoft, huge AI news. They also have earnings coming up. The end of the year is always big for tech. So UiPath, supposed to be an AI company. It has a lot of AI features, and AI is still hot. Bull, I'm very early on Bull. I am bullish on Bull, but the where I got washed out, and I saw it coming, but I didn't prepare adequately for it. I was actually in Bull right here. I saw pretty high relative volume. It's starting to outperform other. Uh, I wasn't comparing it against GLD, but if I compare it against SPY and QQQ, green means that it's strong. It was starting to break out of this underperforming trend of red. And so I bought in actually quite heavy over here, $13. And I sold some here, but not enough. Not enough to make up for this downtrend that came up right here. Now, the good news is I do see a lot of accumulation. You look at this spike in volume here, like 19 times, 20 times, in fact, more volume than usual. You look at this raw volume spike right here. That's got to be accumulation. So, am I going to be long on bull for forever? Probably, actually. because I think it's a baby hood. Look at hood. I wish I was in hood way back when it was, let's see, $30, and now it's 150. I think it'll take a couple years to get there, but I think I'm bullish on. I have a bunch of cash secured puts. I have some shares. My cash secured puts, I'm likely going to end up purchasing, and they'll get my basis somewhere in the $12 range. So that's why bullish. On bull, CMG, that's Chipotle, undervalued company, underrated. XLF, lots of bank finance earnings this month. If they're going to rally, it's going to be the next month or two. SoFi, finance, small company, going to benefit from interest rate cuts. USAR, that's an interesting one. I'm not in heavy on USAR. I certainly wish I was back here or here. But with a trade war in China, expect rare earth minerals to be more valuable. And I saw a hint of a breakout from the downtrend in after hours today. Low volume though. So I think realistically what's going to happen is it's probably going to float sideways. Maybe for a day, maybe for 2 days. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go much lower than its last breakout. There's this support line right here. This is where it last broke out. You see it popped right down, but then it went up. Strong volume, strong relative volume on that breakout. I don't know if I can see it go down further since rare earth minerals are still hot, and the fact that it had a strong volume breakout there. Could be wrong, but I'm just accumulating USAR. I'm not selling yet. I'm not selling for a loss at least. ASPI, that's nuclear. They had an offering. That's what I'm buying. Nuclear offerings are getting bought up like crazy. That's my entire thesis. Honest, I like the company, so I sold some cash secured puts. I don't mind getting assigned. Okta is an interesting one. Um, I think it's at the bottom. Look at this. Look at this. I drew these lines. It's right in that range, right above that range. This is accumulation, as far as I'm concerned. Every time it's hit this area, it's popped up and it's popped up fierce. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know Okta um, I think it's going to go up. It's got a lot of relative volume here, too. Look at this 6, 7, 8 times more volume than usual. And this little area right here, that happens to coincide with every last time that it's spiked upwards. So I'm going to double up on Okta. I'm probably going to double down on Okta. I know I'm looking out far because I expect a rally, seasonal rally in the end of the year. If you're worried about the government shutdown, I'm not. Um, I don't think we'll see a very long bear market in Trump's as long as Trump is president. I think he likes to spike the market down, buy the dip, watch it float up higher, and rug pull as needed. I think that's going to continue. BA, honestly, I might sell BA. I was expecting this is a speculative thing based on you know trade war, military weapons, like BA. People are going to want their fighter jets. The one thing that might help BA out is this Qatar Air Force base in the U.S. I need to look at that more. If they're going to be using Boeing jets, I think that's a good opportunity for me to keep holding, or I might sell if this hits a 30% loss. BCRX, I only have one call on that, purely speculative. But let's take a look. Here's my thesis, my entire thesis. It has news, big news actually. Bought a company that has profit. It's a medical company, so I mean anything could happen. They could go to zero tomorrow. Like it happens all the time with medical companies. But this popped up on my scanner at insanely high relative volume, like 20 times more volume than usual after the news came out of their acquisition. But then the price spiked right down on high volume. But then look at these tiny candles on high volume. And then after hours, still high relative volume, not high absolute volume, but look at this. This is the thing that makes you intrigued. So I actually bought in somewhere right here. It showed up on my scanner. Um, and yeah, so far so good. I mean, anything could happen, but that's a total speculative play. It could go to zero. Like I said, that's only about one contract, but we'll see how it goes. And I expect BCRX to go to zero. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Oscar, this is a hot AI healthcare company. I sold some cash secured puts. Clearly got the timing wrong. Let's look at that chart. Yes. So it broke out of a downtrend. I saw some confirmation with volume. I think I sold the cash secured put somewhere right here after the spike upwards. Of course, in hindsight, you should always wait until a red candle to sell a cash secured put. But yeah, this actually pretty cleanly broke out, and it's not that clean, I suppose. What we'd want to see is we want to see it go right up and hit all-time highs. But I'm watching Oscar very closely. I hope it breaks out. I think it will. Or at the very least, if it trades sideways, that's fine. I can either buy the shares or I'll get the premium. Palantir, this is another uh, war-related one. Like defense spending, I expect to be high in the Trump administration and Palantir to be at the forefront. BBAI, the BBAI, the news is between them and Palantir. BBAI had some partnership with Palantir. That's why I'm in BBAI. And I actually sold a put, so um, I'm either going to acquire the shares, totally possible, or collect the $60 premium by mid-November. RTX, uh, same story. And then Uber. Let's take a look at Uber. I don't even have lines drawn here. I shouldn't be in this trade. Okay, so we'll see the 4 hour chart. There was a trend line that was going down. Now it's trading sideways. I mean, anything could happen, but trading sideways. Oh, actually, pretty good relative volume here. Well, not really. Nothing to call home about. This is probably just with the market. You notice gray down here, that usually means that's just moving with the market. What I'd want to see is like more green down here. If I were to redo this trade, I would wait for more confirmation. A lot of stocks are trading sideways, and this breakout honestly wasn't on very high volume. So that's what I should do next time. I guess it was on double volume, but it still just didn't have the follow through. Look at this volume. It went to like negative. Negative means that it's got significantly less volume than previous 21 days. Significantly less until you see this spike over here where there's clearly some possible accumulation. We zoom in there a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. Where exactly was that accumulation? Can we draw a box? Oh, there it is. There it is. There's your accumulation. All right. I don't know. I think there's a chance for Uber, but I don't have a good story for it. So if this goes down, I won't be surprised, honestly. And the whole sector has been taking a beating. I believe it's part of, is it industrial? It's a big holding. Industrial's been underperforming the last week. Um, I tend to see cycles in here. Um, and the best time usually to buy is when you see a lot of red, because then there's going to be a green where that means it outperforms SPY and QQQ. That's what I'm comparing against here. So Uber, I won't hold if it goes past negative 30. I think that one's just, I think I need to cut that. RTX getting pretty close to my stop loss as well. I'm not heavy in any of these industrials though. So we'll see. That's it. That's my update for today. We'll see how tomorrow goes.